Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I hope everybody's doing great and welcome to what I think is going to be the first of many vlogs. Is that what they're called when you don't write an email and you send a video instead? Something like that. So I'm going to be doing these videos for you through email. Decision I made last night, basically. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing them. I'm hoping at least once a week, but here it is, the first one. And the reason I got this idea is because if you're new to my community, welcome. And if you're following me on social media, you know that yesterday I said I'm going to tell you about my 28-day juice cleanse, which I had every intention of doing. But what I didn't tell you was that I did this juice cleanse with my husband. And a big part of the experience of that whole 28 days was his experience. So I wanted to share about that. So I thought, okay, let me do a video. And because it's like a story, right? It's easier to tell a story than to write it. I thought, let me do a video. And then I thought, well, since it's also about him, let me get him in on the video. I wasn't very successful in convincing him. I'm almost there. So that's why I decided to just do a video on something else today, but something else that I had also told you I'm going to speak about. And I've nearly convinced him to come on and do a video with me so that we can talk about our experience together doing the 28-day cleanse. So hopefully that will be coming soon. So welcome to my community. If you've just signed up, welcome back if you've been with me for a long time. And if you've been with me for a long time, you know that last week I shared with you how I plan on showing up differently. I took some time off of social media and I took a longer break this summer to rethink, reevaluate, because everybody's always evolving and I needed to figure out, and I'm still trying to figure out, I haven't found all the answers yet, how I want to keep moving forward in my work and how I want to keep showing up for all of you and how I can keep providing value. And one of the things that was very obvious to me from many months ago was that I didn't want to be on social media anymore, or at least not the way that I've been on social media in the past. And the reason for that is that, number one, I didn't sign up. When I became a health coach, I did not sign up to have to be on social media. That wasn't part of the deal in my mind. I wanted to be a health coach. I wanted to help people. But apparently in order to do that, in order to reach people, in order to have people find you, keep in mind, I've been a health coach for almost 10 years now. I had to learn something called marketing, which in my mind was just the same thing as advertising. I was like, what's marketing? I had to learn marketing and I had to learn how to be on Facebook. And then I had to learn how to be on Instagram. And then, I was writing emails. With the emails from the very beginning, I did that. And that was very easy for me just to communicate through email. But then all the bells and whistles and whatever you call it, basically a circus show that has become social media, was really outside of my comfort zone. Like there was nothing really that I felt about social media. I did it, right? You guys all saw me. I did everything on social media. I did it all. I tried it all because if I wanted to make the impact that I wanted to make, and if I wanted to reach as many people as I wanted to reach, that was the only way to do it. But it just felt like I was just like chasing the Facebook algorithm all the time. If you know anything about Facebook, if you do any kind of marketing, Facebook or Instagram, they're always changing what's called their algorithm, which is basically how many people are going to see your posts, or what kind of people are going to see your posts, or what kind of reach you're going to have, and what's the best way to do that. And it was always like the next thing you have to learn in order to be on top of the Facebook algorithm. And so I did it all, do 2 posts a day. No, do 5 posts a day. Okay, no, let's, do a combination of written posts and infographics. Okay, no, put your face on there, like put a photo of yourself and then do some infographics and then do some just plain posts. Do a combination, mix it up. Okay, and then it was time for a video. You know what? Facebook and Instagram love video. If you do a video, they're going to show your video to everybody. And if you do a post, they're not going to show it to anybody. Okay, great. So let's do live video. So I did live video on Instagram, on Facebook. Yeah, you know what? On top of live video, there's this new thing called a reel. Start doing some reels because those are really fun and people like those. And okay, so I learned how to do some reels. And then I was just like, really? Like my weekly plan was just, I was doing more work to market than I was coaching. I had like schedules for what reel I'm going to do on what day, and schedules for the daily videos, and schedules for the post ideas, and when to write the post. And I hired social media manager for the first time 2 years ago. And it was just basically, shoveling over content ideas that, I would create, and then they would have to just put in some kind of format or create the graphics for, or whatever it was. But that was, I want to say that was 90% of my effort was put into marketing. And that's not why I became a health coach. I didn't become a health coach to spend all my time trying to figure out how to beat the Facebook and Instagram algorithm. And then I'm an introvert, if you guys have been with me for a while. So all of this exposure on social media was like, oh my God, I had to, it's a lot when you're an introvert to put yourself out there. And on top of sharing the basic information I wanted to share with you about health, apparently I had to share all the behind the scenes, because people get bored with just the basic information. Okay, fine, I get it. So then, share your life, and share behind the scenes, and share, what you eat, and where you go, and where you travel, and with your kids, and with your husband, and, when you go get a manicure, when you go get a pedicure, when you go get a facial, when you go get your hair done. And I was like, none of that. If you know, and if you've been following me, I really did not do a lot of that. If you saw anything behind the scenes from me, it was mostly, a photo of my celery juice every morning, or a photo of the smoothie. I did do behind the scenes. If I traveled for a conference, if I was doing some kind of work, I did share some behind the scenes when I was traveling with my family. But I know that the last time I've shared something private, really private, was last October. And I just sort of shut down after that. I was like, I don't feel like sharing my trips. I don't feel like taking time away from when I'm traveling with my family to snap the photos and make sure every time we eat, the meals on the table are perfect. Like the number of times my poor family members, whether my husband, my kids, or my extended family members, would I would say, stop before we're about to eat a meal together, arrange it so I could snap the photo. I didn't want to do that anymore. And I'm not saying I'm not going to ever do that again, but I just need a break from doing all that. And I need to go back to the core and the essence of what it is that I do and why I started in the first place, which is to be a health coach and to help you transform your health. And it just didn't feel natural for me to do all those things anymore, right? I didn't feel like health, like it wasn't aligned with what my mission was. My mission is to help you heal. My mission is to help you overcome your pain, your disease, your discomfort, whether physical, emotional, or mental. And it just felt like instead of helping you, instead of investing my time helping you, I was putting in so much time. I get it. You need the marketing in order to come to me so that I can help you. But there has to be a better way to do it. There has to be a better way to do it, because again, the other thing that on a personal level, I mean, I consume social media just like all of you do. And so I realized that social media was making me dumber. I don't, maybe that's not the word. Social media I was feeling dumbed down. Maybe that's a better way of putting it, because it was like getting the message all the time that you don't have time to consume information. You don't have time to read something long. You don't have time. You only have time to like get bite-sized bits of information. That's all your life will allow. But when I took a step back from social media, I realized that's not true. I have time. I have time to read. I have time to invest in my intellectual growth. I have time to invest in any kind of growth. Like, I'm tired of getting the message over and over and over again that I don't have time. That I don't have time to delve deeply into things that matter to me, that I don't have time to read something that's lengthy. Like if an email is longer than 8 minutes, then, I don't have time for this. I'm really getting tired of that message. I don't know about you. And it's just like there's constant messaging that just dumbs us down as women. You don't have time to cook. You don't have time to invest in your health. You want a quick fix. You don't have time to read long posts. You don't have time to read long articles. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We just don't know how to manage our time properly in order to do that. And when you remove, I removed social media, or like being on social media. It's been since December. I realized just how much time I have. And if you're following me on social media and you're also on my mailing list, you know that I have been investing a lot of time in my emails. I've been writing a daily email 5 days a week, every single day since January, because I realized that's where I want to put my energy. I want to communicate with you in a way that goes deeper. I want to communicate with you and give you time and space to really to think, and not just scroll and not have time to grasp. Like, maybe social media will inspire you in a very fleeting way, but when you sit down and read an email, you think about it. You take time, because you're not distracted by images. You're not distracted by other accounts. You're not distracted, like on Facebook, by other people's comments, and there's no distraction in theory when you're in email. And that's where I want to focus on. And that's where I'm going to keep focusing on, is email, because that's also where I get to communicate with you on a deeper level. That's also where we're guaranteed communication, because believe it or not, Facebook and Instagram, I don't own my accounts really there, and you're not guaranteed that you're going to see what I share. I don't own any of my followers on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram own everything. So when Facebook decides for whatever reason not to show my posts, or if Facebook crashes, remember back in October when Facebook just crashed, the owner of the accounts and the consumers of the accounts, we lost all communication. And there was no way for me to reach out to my followers on Facebook or Instagram. There was no way. It was down. The only people that I could reach, and I remember that day when Facebook crashed, I was doing a live class that I do inside my Facebook group. So there was no way for me to do the class, and there was no way for me to post on the group and say, the class is not happening in the group today, because I couldn't get into the Facebook group, because I couldn't get into Facebook. The only way to communicate was email. So email is always going to be the guaranteed way to communicate. It's going to be where Facebook can't interfere. They can't block my emails, and neither can Instagram. They can't censor. This was a big issue for me, because I got put into Instagram jail for talking about COVID and the vaccine in a way that was the opposite of mainstream media. So all of these things basically compounded, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to invest that much time anymore on these platforms where I'm spinning my wheels. Like, life is too short to run after the Facebook algorithm. So life is also too short not to follow your dream. And for me, it's to help people heal. So email is where I'm going to show up with substance. Email is where I'm going to invite you to invest time to learn and to educate yourself and to raise your awareness. Because also, the other important thing about time and not having time, if you can't spend whatever, this is going to be like 10 minutes today, 7 to 10 minutes reading an email or watching a video of substance, how are you going to invest time to heal yourself? Because healing is a long and slow process that requires patience. So if you're impatient because you can't read through an email or you can't follow through on a video, you need to rethink this. And how does this affect everything else in your life? We have a saying in coaching that says, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So I'm going to invite you to think about that today. And I'm going to just conclude by saying that, yes, I'm not going to show up on social media. You're not going to see all my behind the scenes, because I'm a very private person, but I'm also a very transparent person. So if there's anything you need to ask me, right? If there's anything you have a question about, what I eat, how I take care of myself, products I use, where I go grocery shopping, like anything, I'm going to answer it for you. Send me an email or send me a message on social media, and I will. Like, if you're curious, message me. You all know that I am the only one who answers my emails, and I answer every single email. When I'm in my regular work mode, you're going to get an answer from me within 24 hours. So tell me. I'm not going to keep information from you. Just because I don't want to share it with the whole world doesn't mean I'm not willing to answer a message or an email. All right. So my other takeaway from you today is to Go back to investing your time in you. Go back to reading versus just scrolling. Go back to allowing yourself to think and analyze instead of just being on social media and like oogling and just like, ooh, you know, we all know like how superficial social media can be. So let's go back to quality over quantity. And I just want to welcome you all again back and welcome you if you're all new. And let me know if there's something specific you want me to talk about. Let me know if there's something, a topic you want me to do a video on or a topic you want me to write on. Because at the end of the day, that's what this whole form of communication is for. It's for you. It's for you to learn and be educated and get the awareness that you need and seek the help and support and advice that you need also. All right, so have a wonderful day, everyone, ladies, and the few gentlemen who are here. And I'll be back again soon with another video. Bye.